Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane. Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available. And we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talked to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Honda, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by Nebco. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That it is, a Wednesday show here on The Block. I'm Austin Norman. He is Eric Strickland, and we are delighted that you are along for the ride with us over the next 2 hours. Lots to get to across the wide world of sports. Plenty to get to with the Huskers as we turn our attention from Colorado week to Northern Iowa. Panthers ranked number 21 in the FCS ranks. We'll talk a little bit about that. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll have Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on the line to talk with us. And Stricky, even some NBA. We are Dirk Nowitzki number of days away from tip-off right now of the NBA season. How about that?
Swish 41?
Swish 41 days.
All right.
Yeah.
Show you right. Yeah, man. It's crazy how fast things are just rolling right here. I mean, when you think about it, we're halfway through September almost, and we'll be in October. Like, really, those who are listening, am I tripping, or is it gone really fast like this year? Like 2024 just seems like
here and gone.
You know what I mean? Normally we get through the day.
Not as fast as Bobby Wood Jr., but still gone pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast. I knew he was going to say something, Kansas City Royals. But it's a crazy thing for me. Like we're literally about to have another presidential election where we got through the summer as if it didn't even happen. We're in the fall now, and it's football season's buzzing. Lincoln's buzzing. Husker fever with volleyball in action. Oh, man, I didn't get to see the game last night. Gosh darn, I wanted to watch it. I was so sleepy last night, bro. I went to bed. I was out of there. I really wanted to watch that
I
game.
know you got energy drinks at home, Stricky.
I do, man, but I didn't even tap in, and I was sad about it because I was also watching the debate too. So
yeah,
I was checking that out.
Double red versus blue.
Yeah, right. But how did they do?
Volleyball or the debaters? Volleyball 1 and 5. They won the first two, dominated them. Set 3 went like 33-31. Nebraska, I think that was the set they had to review, go against them, and gave Creighton some life. Creighton won the fourth set pretty handily, and then Nebraska, not comfortably, but did close it out in 5.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I love that rivalry, though. Mm-hmm. And it goes to show you just how good and how excellent volleyball is in the state.
Yes.
Across the board.
Yes.
The fact that you have two powerhouses at that level, and Creighton is the beneficiary.
Little sister.
Real talk. They're the beneficiary of what Nebraska built, because Nebraska can't get everyone, and the state itself carries so many good volleyball athletes that they benefit, even down to UNO. I just think all the way across the board is a big benefit.
Well, last year, all 3 Nebraska teams made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Omaha, I believe, won the Summit League to sneak into the field as well. And it's the concept of a rising tide lifts all boats, Stricky, right? I think it's a good thing that it started at Nebraska. And football doesn't have that competition.
No.
Right? Which is, maybe a blessing, but also maybe a curse. If there was another in-state program that was there to take the players that Nebraska wasn't able to get or didn't develop and develop them and was successful, maybe that would help the football program, have a different standard. But to see Nebraska volleyball be the team to set that standard, it gave Creighton something to shoot for. It gave Omaha something to shoot for. Will they ever get to Nebraska's level? Selfishly, hopefully not. But you could say the same with Georgia and Alabama, right? Is Kirby Smart going to be as good a coach as Nick Saban? No, but he learned from him. He's just down the road. They're not that far apart. And because you're playing each other year after year after year, the standard you have to reach to build a program of your own. I think that dynamic applies.
I have 2 quick questions, but one being, do you believe the programs of like soccer and baseball that in its early stages, Creighton baseball was very, very good. And did it raise the level of Nebraska baseball, so forth and so on? And, soccer, because their soccer program has usually been pretty good. Now, my other question is, when you think about internally, because we have what they call Nebraska Jacks, do you think if Trev didn't pull the plug on UNO football, that where those young men were shooting out to North Dakota, maybe they stayed and become a Maverick? Would that have been wild?
No, that would have been.
Right?
That would have been.
Mavericks played FCS level, and in a lot of that talent that went up there and had some success.
How long would Lance Leipold have stayed around? Would he have built that program into a winner?
I don't know. That's just something you think about, right? As you're just kind of just sitting here like,
what do you think?
Look, with the way and the facilities that they're starting to build there on campus, I think that campus, I remember as a young man at Bellevue West, we would go there sometimes and play at UNO, and we definitely would go play at Creighton's practice facility, which was the old facility at that time. That's where we did a lot of our Idaman League stuff. But I look at it and how that campus has grown up in on-site dorms now, and living quarters, and it looks a lot better than in its early ages.
Exarban is awesome.
I think they've done a good job, kind of incorporating that area with along with Creighton in a form as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, speaking of facilities and environment, Stricky, Travis Hunter had his Travis Hunter show. He was asked about the Nebraska game. Obviously, they're going to get into it. Here's Travis Hunter, what he had to say about the environment for Saturday's game, Colorado versus Nebraska.
We're going to break down the game, Nebraska game. They came out fast. They hit us in the mouth. We ain't had no response. That's pretty much what happened. And Nebraska's a good team. They beat us fair and square. And we just got to come out and do better. We got to play Colorado football, and that's not Colorado football.
No discredit to the team. Good team. They play good ball. But I want to give more credit to their fan base and the way they got their stadium set up. They give you hell from the time you step foot out your locker room to the time you get to the field.
That environment was top 10.
Yeah, I got to give it to them.
The little light show in the fourth quarter, that was good too. I ain't even gonna lie, that was a good little show, boy. That fans was loud on third down when you break the huddle, when you get in the huddle. I can't even think to myself how loud it was. Yeah, shout out to Nebraska.
Travis Hunter acknowledges it, right? It was real. The crowd was a factor in that game, from the time they stepped foot on the field for warmups through the end of the game. But Strick, that is what Memorial Stadium has been missing. And I get it. The product on the field hasn't been nearly as good as it was, back in the heyday or whatever, a 47-game win streak at home from 91 through 98. It's easy to be loud in big games. It's easy to be loud when you have a rival coming to town. But Strick, to me, what we saw on Saturday, what we heard on Saturday, that's got to be the standard, right? If the players have to match Dylan Raiola's standard, like Matt Rule was saying, when I was there as a student, Memorial Stadium lacked a lot of buzz. And I'm sorry, if you want to call yourselves the greatest fans in college football, that's the standard. That's what you hold yourself to, right? Yes, it's Colorado. Yes, it's easy. I'm glad you can get up for the big game. But guess what? You got to get up for Northern Iowa, too. You got to get up for Rutgers. You got to get up for when Wisconsin comes to town, even a mid at best UCLA team. You got to get up for those as well. That Memorial Stadium is to be feared, is not to be messed with. Now that Nebraska fans have a taste of that again, if the environment isn't like that moving forward, I'm going to go back to being slightly disappointed because that's what it can be and should be every single week.
Yeah, we can at times get very complacent. And I think that's what happened over some years. I mean, you got complacent with great football and, you had an expectation that you were going to come into games and blow people out, and you were doing that. And then all of a sudden the tide turned. And the fans have always been supportive. The fans have always been there. The fans have always been excited about the coming of the season for Nebraska football. But like you said, you want to see that this week coming too. You don't want to see I'm going to be honest, man. Devaney was a place that people didn't want to play. Like it really,
they still don't,
because it's something about there in the Devaney, the way it was set up. I love that pretty much the whole bottom section in Devaney was students. So look, there were some games like Oklahoma State and Kansas and the likes of them, but it didn't matter. Kansas State came in there because we played a style. And I think that's also a piece of it too. Just like the players feed off the crowd wants to feed off of good play.
Yes.
Exciting play. Big plays. Like if you give them, if you gave them a steady diet of Iowa style football, there could be a form of complacency that can set into me. You know what I mean? Outside of big moments or big downs or it would just kind of be, you're just sitting there. You don't want it to be that. You want to be an atmosphere that when people come in there like, oh,
snap.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, because there's places that I've been into, whether at the NBA or there are places that you go into and you're like, ooh, like I remember when people used to come into the Garden, TD Garden, when I was with the Celtics. Boy, I mean, they would play this. They would play Guns N' Roses. It was like, and our numbers were green. I mean, our colors were green. So it was welcome to the jungle. We got fun and game, and it would just be, and the crowd would be going. Lights would be flickering and flying, and it would be rowdy. And like when they came in there, it was like, woof, we're in for one. And it influenced us because we wanted to give you. And I think that's what Nebraska football is. It needs to be an exchange of each other's energy for one another for building off of it. I think that's what we need to see more.
Right. You can't just give and you can't just take, right? The fans, Strick, have poured in so much time, so much effort, so much energy. And to their credit, they have shown up, right? We're getting set for 400 consecutive sellouts down the street. Should be the Illinois game. So yes, it is on the players to take that energy and then give it back, right? Yep. Because if it's a well, you can't just keep pulling from the well. You got to have the water cycle, right? It can't just be one way. You got to give something back.
And what happens with stagnant water? It becomes stale.
Yeah.
It becomes mossy. It becomes algae filled. That's what we're talking about. We need a recycling of the energy by way of connection of one another's energy. in that stadium. And that's what you want to have. You want to have a place where when people come in here, they know we're in for the long haul, boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that was the first of 3 straight night games against Colorado on
I think that's
Saturday.
dope, though. Sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I had to
what
just had
Travis
to say,
Hunter said?
I think that's dope that you gotta understand places he's played. He's played in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
He's played, I mean, Oregon's supposed to be
loud.
That,
Mm-hmm.
right? Austin Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in USC.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in UCLA, Arizona, all up and down the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
Good programs, great programs. But he said there was something special about what he saw in there, and that's a beautiful thing to see.
And I think Travis Hunter too is a guy that Nebraska fans aren't going to like because he plays for Colorado, but he seems like he has a good head on his shoulders. I was reminded last year after that Colorado State player laid that massive hit on him on the sideline. Later on, Travis Hunter went back and found him and did a vlog with him saying, yeah, we're cool. You know, it's just football. Wish he wouldn't have done it. But, you know, say what you will about, Coach Sanders and his sons or whatever. But if Husker fans are going to have an enemy on Colorado, I think Travis Hunter's the wrong one.
Yeah, Travis Hunter is going to be a tremendous player. He's going to play at the next level. I think where he hits, I'm going to say him himself because I think they're giving him the space to show and showcase his talent. But there's also something that we've talked about here on the block, and we've talked about AAU and the systems and how playing too much, and how I said, one of the blessings for me is that I never had a focus on one specific sport, which allowed my muscles to heal. And because you use different things, different muscles are used in different sports. I use different muscles in baseball than I used in basketball, and in football than what I used. Although it's running, there's different types, more quads, more glutes, more, than other areas.
Not all running is
created equal. It's not always cutting, shifting, all this stuff that would go on with that. Yes. So my body was able to they can wear that young man out. Like 140 plays a game.
In altitude sometimes.
Bruh. Oof. Like I don't care that I don't care how much you get in the weight room. It's a lot to recover from.
Yeah. Taking
hits, giving hits, running a dang near miles because you're running 9 routes against offensive wide receivers, and you're running 9 routes as a wide receiver. That's a lot. So look, even if you look at the best of who did it, Bo Jackson, you look at the best at who maybe two-way players like Dion, Woodson, guys like that. They spot did it.
Yeah.
It was never a consistent, it was spot moments. It was 2 series. It was a special formation or something where they came in. They was never there that constant. No. I mean, and he's getting 10 catches now. You got to understand, it was 10 catches.
14 targets.
14 targets. So that means, bruh, I don't know. I'm done.
I'm glad you mentioned hitting, too. That's something I was impressed with from Travis Hunter. I didn't think he was soft, but I didn't know how willing he would be to hit. Yes, the business decision now, the Dowdell touchdown run. Okay, whatever. Travis Hunter came up and he laid some hits.
Got in there a couple times.
He was a solid tackler, better than I wanted to give him credit for. So, yeah, I think he's pretty clearly Colorado's best player.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's so much versatility with where and how you would even want to play him. If I'm him, I'm being honest. If I'm being real, the way they're paying receivers right now, I'm going on that side. The way they don't allow DBs to hit you, I'm going on that side. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything for me is looking receiver based. Because if even now, like if I would be thinking about it, like as much as I love D, if I'm not playing pause, great pause. Help your boy out.
I got you, my boy.
So as much as I love playing defense,
thank you.
Right? Woo! As love as I much playing defense, right? As I love it. I would even consider it because I would have been like a Cam Chancellor type. I would have been like a
Bam Cam.
Atwater. You know, those Ronnie Lots. That would have been the kind of
you
safety,
popping your
strong
finger back
safety.
in, you amputating it, going back in the game.
I mean, listen, I didn't mind playing with a little, hurt, but I'll tell you, I couldn't do that today because as much as I'd want to come up and lay the boom on you, you can't really do that. You got to kind of come up now and kind of turn a little bit just to make sure. And then, yeah, you do. You got to do that. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll have Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on the line to talk Huskers Colorado, as well as Nebraska against Northern Iowa. That is a ranked team in the FCS ranks. What kind of challenges do they present? What does he want to see out of the Huskers on Saturday?
Wasn't your boy Tommy Hill there?
My boy?
Tommy Hill?
Tommy Hill?
Wasn't he there? Was it Northern Iowa? Who transferred?
No, that was Omar Brown.
Omar Brown.
Omar Brown.
Okay, I knew it was
Tommy Hill was Arizona State.
Okay,
yeah.
That's right. All right. Thank you.
Omar Brown, you versus the Huskers. We'll talk to Evan Blaine about it next.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from UBT Stadium as the Norris Titans travel to Lincoln and face off against the Lincoln Northwest Falcons at 7 p.m. Both teams looking for their first win of the season as Norris fell to Scott and Gretna, and Lincoln Northwest has lost to Ralston and Scotts Bluff so far this year. Kickoff between the Titans and the Falcons is scheduled for 7 p.m. on Friday, and you can hear all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Attention Nebraska, it's time to show off the best our state has to offer. Help Beatrice Bakery's famous fruitcake snag the title of coolest thing in Nebraska. Made with love and loaded with local flavor. This fruitcake isn't just a treat, it's a tradition. Cast your vote today and let's put Beatrice Bakery on the map. Vote now and make the fruitcake of Beatrice Bakery the coolest thing in Nebraska. Visit theticketfm.com and click the link to vote. That's theticketfm.com. Go and vote now.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block, and it's 2:30 on a Wednesday, which means we are headed to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We go there now. We welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, a lot of buzz about Nebraska, Colorado. We'll start there before we look ahead to Nebraska, Northern Iowa. You've been in the game, covering a lot of games over your career. Where did Nebraska, Colorado, the environment fall for you for the environments that you've been in to cover a game?
I mean, it's way up there for sure. I always think of 2021 Michigan would be there. The 2016 Oregon game was pretty good. 2014 Miami. But yeah, I mean, I think the build-up to the Colorado game was just as impressive as the actual game and atmosphere itself. It was a huge recruiting weekend. You had celebrities along the sidelines, Terrence Crawford mingling with Deion Sanders with the 94 Husker team on hand. I mean, all that kind of played into it. The anticipation certainly was right near the top too. You could just feel kind of the intensity and the electricity that went into it. And then it showed up in the game too. I thought the crowd impacted, especially that first drive for Colorado. And you could tell they were just unaccustomed to the decibel level and all the rest. You just look at where they had played at Colorado previously. It didn't compare to what Nebraska put out there. So they put their best foot forward in a rivalry game on NBC with a bunch of prospects in town to watch. So I think it all added up pretty well. And anybody who watched it or experienced it, I think was just reminded again of what Nebraska can be when it's rolling, and people are coming out to support them in these high stakes moments.
You mentioned that first drive, and if I'm Ty Robinson's agent, assuming he has one, I'm sending that film to all 32 NFL teams right now. Was that the best drive and the best game maybe of Ty Robinson's college career?
I mean, he was the most obviously impactful. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the deflection right off the jump, the third down, it just kind of felt like he decided, I'm gonna push through and get the sack here, and that was kind of the end of that. And then he had the field goal block as well. Although kind of the jokes this week have been that maybe there was some discrepancy about who exactly blocked that kick. But I think my money's probably on the 6'6" guy with his hand up in the middle of the line. But I mean, what a cool story for a guy who could have gone pro last year, could be on an NFL roster right now, but felt like he could improve himself, his stock individually, and also felt like, man, he's been at Nebraska, for so long, and they hadn't had any winning seasons. He felt like this was a chance for them to turn things around in his final year. So it was just a really cool moment for them to break through and win the game on a big stage, the way that they haven't in a while, and for Ty Robinson to have a hand, quite literally, in making that happen. Just a cool example of a guy taking a chance and it paying off.
He blocks that field goal, and outside of the Brian Buschini punt down to the 2-yard line, that's really the positives from special teams. Matt Rule called it one of the worst special teams games of his career that he's seen his team play. But Evan, I think that's a difference between this year's Nebraska and years past, is that despite the long kickoff return, despite a missed chip shot field goal, it's not a lot out of punt return, maybe a little from Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Nebraska was able to not just win the game and squeak out of there, but do it convincingly. What does that tell you about the difference between, previous iterations of Nebraska and this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that either, right? If you just said, hey, they get shut out in the second half and they have 12 penalties for 100 yards and left at least a touchdown on the table because of it, I don't know how many people are thinking Nebraska wins that game and definitely doesn't win it comfortably. So I think the defense provides quite the margin for error there. I mean, 2 games into the season, Nebraska's defense has put up points both times, a safety in the opener and then the pick 6 from Tommy Hill. So, I mean, that sets you on the right path immediately. And I think the other thing you look at, the big difference has to be the quarterback position. And, a year ago, Nebraska was 0-2 with losses at Minnesota and Colorado, and the quarterback position accounted for 6 giveaways in those 2 games. And Dylan Raiola, that number would be 0 to this point. And there were a couple, maybe close calls. He had that throw across his body, and then the bobble that, from a Colorado defender that Ramir Johnson scored on. So he hasn't been perfect, but in terms of giveaways, he has. And that just allows Nebraska to lean even more on its defense, to play that complementary style football. The time of possession has been in their favor with how they run the ball. And I think we've seen glimpses of what some of their explosive playmakers can do. Ja'Cory Barney and Jalen Lloyd seem like they're just a big play waiting to happen. And this was a relatively quiet game from Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nayor too. So I think it's improved playmaking. It's smarter decisions, better ball security from the quarterback spot, and a veteran defense that's taken that next step. And that's kind of what we said in the offseason was, as good as that the Black Shirts were a year ago, that next level is turning punts into takeaways, being able to maybe score a few points along the way. And that's what they've done through 2 games.
So Evan, when you talk about a game like that, the magnitude of that game, we talked about what it could do for the program, as far as it being a national style game with that type of hype involved this early in the season. How do you believe that a game like that has an effect on the recruiting for Nebraska from thus forward? What are they going to need to do probably after a win like that? You get a national rise in attention and exposure. People are talking about you differently. I'm telling differently than you have before. How does that, you think, affect the recruiting? And what do you believe they would need to do to really lock this in moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for the recruiting. I think the numbers just came out earlier this week, 6.3 million viewers watching that game. It was second most among any college football games last weekend. And sure, some of that was Colorado curiosity. There's no doubt about it. But that thing turned into a Nebraska infomercial for 3 hours on NBC. I mean, that's invaluable exposure. Matt Rule said something here early this week about this idea that, Nebraska football locally is always going to be a big deal, but they need to find a way to be relevant across the country. And this is how you do that. I mean, you put out documentaries and you make game day, the game day atmosphere next level. And of course you win games, and Nebraska's doing those things right now. We've already seen the payoff in the commitment of Christian Jones, the linebacker from Omaha West Side. I mean, he was quite literally waiting to see how Nebraska looked against Colorado before making a decision. It's the year 2 situation for a program where you cast your vision in year 1, and then what does it look like in year 2? Are you seeing discernible progress? And Nebraska showed discernible progress in all the ways that we were just talking about, where that was enough to convince the state's top-rated football player in the 25 class to come to Nebraska and turn down Oklahoma to do it. I mean, Nebraska doesn't win those kind of recruiting battles very often. So, you think about some of the near misses they've had, at least to this point, with guys like David Sanders and Michael Terry and some of these high 4 and 5-star prospects. Nebraska's done everything that they could in the offseason in terms of showing off the facilities and personal connections with coaches and development and all the rest. The last piece has been the winning piece. And can you is it going to be fun to go to Nebraska and be a ranked team and play meaningful games in November and be a player in the Big Ten? And a lot of that still remains to be seen. It's just 2 games into the season. But like, I think that's just the next level that this program can achieve is like, man, you look at what they've done recruiting in the first couple cycles, and they really haven't done anything on a national level yet. If that changes, that's where you start to look out and say these classes that have been top 25 classes maybe have a chance to be around the top 10, and then you're really taking off.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. He's joining us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Evan, on the Nebraska defense as well, they've brought pressure, brought extra rushers, but 7.98% of the time so far this year. All of that was against Colorado. A game against Northern Iowa this week. Do you view this as an opportunity for that unit to maybe get a little creative and work out the kinks in live action? Or do you think this is another kind of vanilla week for the defense, rely on talent, experience, and try to get the job done that way?
I mean, I don't see a scenario where Nebraska needs to be too exotic defensively this week. I think it's a perfect setup for the Big Ten and what you're going to see. I mean, we just saw Illinois beat Kansas being a physical run team, and like Northern Iowa is sort of that on the FCS level on a smaller scale. And so, I mean, really the schedule sets up perfectly in the sense that the Nebraska defense for 2 weeks scouted and prepared for spread offenses against UTEP and Colorado. And now, you look at Northern Iowa and their commitment to the run, their physical kind of between the tackles game. This is when you start dialing that in, and then that leads to Illinois, which plays a similar brand. You've got Rutgers in a few weeks that plays a similar brand. Purdue, I think to an extent, can show that from time to time. So I think it's a week where it's all about being gap sound and staying in your assignments. The big kind of revelation, I think, against Colorado was Nebraska's success with the 4-man rush and being able to get to the quarterback without having to blitz. To your point there, Austin, I don't know how much UNI is going to be pushing the envelope through the air. Maybe they'll have to as the game goes on and that becomes a factor. But I think this is an opportunity for the defense to show a different side of itself in stopping that run game, being consistent, not having those blown coverages that maybe would crop up on some of Nebraska's teams that have struggled in the past. And if you can do that, sort of the transition into that Friday night game against Illinois is all the smoother. And I think, a lot of the preparation at that point would have already been, committed to what they're doing.
When you look at how Nebraska handled Colorado week, right? I mean, the high point of the season through 2 weeks, there's been, plenty of people circling that one on the calendar, even dating back to last year. What about how Nebraska prepared for Colorado, how they handled the emotions and the environment of that game makes you think Nebraska can avoid a letdown against Northern Iowa in a, less emotional environment?
Yeah, it was impressive. And it's a good question because Nebraska has not always been immune to that, even when it has been in the rankings or winning games. Certainly the Bo Pelini era, there was always a game every year where you could count on them dropping one that they shouldn't. And it's not to say Nebraska now is immune to that potentially, but what encouraged me about the prospect of them sticking with it is how little about the win over Colorado was really about Colorado in their minds. Like, it wasn't about the rivalry. It wasn't, personal in most senses. Like, they really believe, and this all comes from Matt Rule and the staff, that like it's them versus them. And it's about getting better at your craft and chasing greatness and that next elite level. And so like, and for what's worth, Nebraska did not play even close to a perfect game against Colorado for all the things that we're talking about earlier with penalties and third down struggles on offense and special teams. Like, they know that there were still plenty of flaws. And so like the motivation has come from like, let's have better tape. Let's execute at a higher level. Let's play something closer to a perfect game than we've done to this point. If it were about Colorado, man, there would be an emotional letdown when you talk about, okay, we played Shedeur Sanders and company, and now it's an FCS school that runs the ball a lot. But like, I really, from what I heard in post game interviews from a bunch of players and from Matt Rule and coaches this week, like their motivation is more internal focused, I think, in ways that past Nebraska teams haven't been. And that really is what allows you to achieve that level of consistency where you don't get too high or too low on a weekly basis.
Nebraska's second night game in a stretch of 3 comes up on Saturday, 6:30 kickoff again against the Northern Iowa Panthers. Make sure you're following Evan for plenty of coverage live from the stadium during the week and during the games on Twitter, Evan Bland, OWH, and Omaha.com. Evan, as always, appreciate your time. Have a good rest of your week, man.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan joined us on our Allo Fiber VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Part of that exceptional service is that we're on their cable package. They sponsor our phone line, but we're channel 961. If you are an Allo cable subscriber, tweet us a picture at OnTheBlock937. Show us that you're watching on your TV, whether it's at home, at work, in your man cave, your she shed, whatever it is. If you're watching on Allo 961, shoot us a picture. We might have a little something for you. We'll go to break. We'll tell you about opening night at the Rail Yard for Husker men's and women's basketball. Get you set up for that in hour 2 of On the Block right after this.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rick Heyman from Sauter Heyman Jewelers here. Shop the Wedding Band Expo September 12th through the 14th at Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Choose a wedding band that will stand the test of time or an anniversary band to celebrate time spent together. Only at the Wedding Band Expo. You'll save 20% off all wedding and anniversary bands. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Wedding Band Expo, September 12th through the 14th. All 3 locations. Find the ring of your dreams at the price you'll love. SauterHeyman.com in Lincoln and Grand Island.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy and hot with an afternoon high around 91. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. It'll be breezy again with the high around 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A little bit of news on the Husker basketball front to go with your Husker football news. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you here. Got some news on the season opening event. They're calling it opening night at the Rail Yard. That's right, not in the Haymarket, not at PBA, but Stricky in the Rail Yard, right? That kind of open area. They have a basketball hoop set up there. Here's what Huskers.com's article says. The tip-off of the 2024-25 season moves to the streets as opening night will take place on Friday, October 4th, so just under a month away from that. This interactive, fan-friendly event will take place on Canopy Street between R and Q, as the street next to the Rail Yard near PBA will be closed for the event. It starts at 7. It includes both Husker men's and women's programs and is free to the public. Opening night will feature introductions of both Husker teams, remarks from both head coaches and selected players. And here's this, Stricky, contests with players and fans, and much more. The concerts have been cool, maybe haven't taken off to the degree, you thought they might have, for a free concert inside PBA. But Stricky, I love this. It's probably going to be a little more intimate, maybe a lot more interaction with the fans. 2 NCAA tournament teams from last year. I think this could be a really fun idea for these programs to really spark the interest, even during a popular football season where things are going better. I like the idea of getting out there with the fans, maybe lower key, but more interactive. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, I do too. And this is what you're going to have to do in this day and age, even more, I think, because you're going to want to connect with them. You want them to connect with you. Now, a lot of college programs are becoming very much similar to what Green Bay has become. Right? It's a corporate corporate business, but it's owned by the people. You know what I mean? Like the majority stake obviously has its majority owner, so forth and so on, but there's dividends and stuff by the success of the team, everybody. So there's a buy-in, right? And now that's what you've got. That's what NIL has created with programs. It's created this form of buy-in. You know, how much are you connected? How can you be connected to the community? How are they seeing you? How are they viewing you? Are you relatable? What are you able to convey, you know, by me partnering with you, right? So it's a communal partnership deal that's going on now, and this is just a way to expose your players. And obviously, basketball is a program that feels they're not getting a good portion or share of getting in the NIL space, and so therefore they've got to be creative, more creative.
Here's what Fred Hoiberg had to say about this. He said, opening night is an event our players look forward to because it's a chance to show their personality and have some fun with our fans. Moving it to the rail yard should create a fun environment and allow for more fan interaction with both our basketball programs and kick off what should be a fun homecoming weekend on campus. A couple things stand out. Like you said on NIL, showcase personality, right? You get the introductions, you get a little bit of the dancing last year and a couple of years ago. But this is even closer and more personal, right? You can really get to meet and interact with these players, maybe even compete against them, like he said. And homecoming weekend, that is excellent planning by the basketball team with all these people in town. Haymarket's going to be buzzing anyways. If you're just walking around, maybe you live outside of Nebraska and you're just coming back, finally checking out the Haymarket, maybe come back for every game. It doesn't matter. The energy should be just that little bit higher for homecoming. Why not put yourself in the middle of that environment down there in the rail yard and kick off your season right?
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's the weather probably will still be pretty good, and like you said, taking advantage of the buzz. One of the best things that a individual does when they're chasing a surf, they're reading the waves and the potential of those waves as they're coming in. Ride this one. This is a high riding wave. You're hoping that your Nebraska Huskers will be putting themselves in position to go 4-0 at that time. Wait,
be 6-0.
6-0 at that point. Yeah, that's when the homecoming. It's Purdue. Wait, not Purdue,
Rutgers.
but it's Rutgers. Yeah.
Rutgers, yep.
So I think that's what it is. Just check that wave, jump on that ride, and ride that to some advantage for you in your program.
Well, you've been the one that's mentioned it for the last month or so, right? Basketball took that step up last year, and you said football is going to follow along. Well, hey, guess what? Football is that big wave, right? That's going to crest over everything in this state. If you're basketball and you can find that wave, you did your part, maybe to kickstart football, give it a kick in the pants. Now you get the benefit of you get to tap into that excitement, that energy, and there's no pressure on you. When the football team's that big, you do your own thing. People will be excited about you, but not laser focused on you, not upset and angry over every little thing because you're in the picture, but you're not the focal point. So I think both basketball programs are in a pretty darn good spot right now.
Well, and when I say what I've said about that situation, I really want you to understand what I mean, right? You've got to understand that there's competitive energy and juices flowing all on campus with athletes and programs, and how can we raise the bar to be more visible? How can we make them like us more so that they come and they support, right? So this is a good thing of why we do what we do here at the Ticket as well, and we offer platforms for these young men and women to come in and share their stories, and you get a chance to know them. But what I mean and why I said what I said, though, I said it because when we were coming up, the competitive fire was we were buzzing. You see what I'm saying? We were knocking on the doors of breaking through with the NCAA success, finally breaking that, and we were doing our thing. We were winning big games. Like somebody big came in here, we were taking care of that, and they had the the tag label of not being able to win the big game. So, you know, they would come to our games and they would see like when Kansas showed up and we would get after them and we would beat them and what that was like, right? And they always saw the hype, but they didn't understand, right? They were like, man, look, the competitive fire, man, these hoopers is getting all the buzz, man. And that's that competitiveness that says, man, bump that, man. We got to get ourselves going. You know what I'm saying? And it was good that us as freshmen, we all came in together with a lot of that group of young, that next level that took Nebraska over the hump was a lot of those guys with Tommy Frazier and, you know, Lawrence Phillips. And a lot of those guys were in our class and we were watching each other together grow.
Nebraska's 2 ranked games right now are on the road, but hey, basketball took down Purdue and Wisconsin at home. If you didn't think that got the juices flowing for the football team to want its next crack at a top 10 team, I don't know what to tell you.
And it's very possible that if you're able to run the tables and do your thing, that you could find yourself, like you said, with a top 10 team in USC.
Yeah.
When you go out there, which if you can go out there and do your work, whoo,
and there might be as many Husker fans as USC fans out there for that.
Yeah, man. Like I've seen that. Like when we played USC in basketball, they were in there. they were in there. I was like, wait a minute. So, where'd all this red come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is like that.
3586 with the sarcastic text of the week. So you're saying Nebraska is the football school?
Facts.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be.
That's a
Why
fact.
can't Nebraska be an everything school? But we all understand the reality of the situation that, you know, football takes priority. Which again, shout out volleyball. They did their thing. Queens take down Creighton at finals score 3-2 in sets. Huskers will most likely be ranked higher than number 5 in the country after a top 10 win next week. We'll go to break. When we get back, David versus Goliath in college football. We got Nebraska versus Northern Iowa, Nebraska's history versus FCS schools. First matchup with Northern Iowa. Omar Brown U, as Stricky said after the end of the last segment. How does Nebraska handle this game? And are these David versus Goliath matchups most important in college football, or is it another sport where they take the cake? We'll go to break. Plenty more to come in hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 4 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
Goddamn drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from UBT Stadium as the Norris Titans travel to Lincoln and face off against the Lincoln Northwest Falcons at 7 p.m. Both teams looking for their first win of the season as Norris fell to Scott and Gretna, and Lincoln Northwest has lost to Ralston and Scotts Bluff so far this year. Kickoff between the Titans and the Falcons is scheduled for 7 p.m. on Friday, and you can hear all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through September 15th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA Choice Boneless New York Strip Steaks for $7.99 each. USDA Choice Boneless Beef Crock Pot Roast for $4.99 per pound. Fresh salmon fillets for $9.99 per pound. And Bush Light 30-packs for just $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That is definitely what it is. On the Block. Austin and Stricky in the building. Listen, it is hump day. It is the day in the middle of the week where you're kind of stuck in the in between time, in the meantime, you're looking forward, but you're like, you're like the guy on the State Farm commercial. I think it was like, you're almost there. You almost got it.
Gotta be quicker.
You gotta be quicker than that. You're kind of stuck in the middle. Like the weekend is like in range. It's in reach, but it's got to be quicker than that. We got a few more days left, but we thank you for joining us on the block and tapping in. Great show so far. Austin Norman and I, man, listen, you got something special for us. What are we digging into?
Hey, we're digging into Nebco. They have dug into Lincoln in Nebraska. They're the oldest
entrenched
paving company in Nebraska. 1908. Fourth generation family owned and operated. If you want to be a part of that family, NebcoInc.com is where you go. But Stricky, we are diving into Husker football. They play an FCS opponent this week. It's Northern Iowa. In text line 402-464-5685. Comment section, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Out of 10, what is your concern level for how Nebraska handles a lesser, quote unquote, environment, a lesser foe, especially emotionally, compared to Colorado, right, Strick? I asked Devin about that. Where are you at? 1 to 10 scale, 1 being not concerned at all, 10 being, holy cow, this is a trap letdown game. Where are you on that scale for where Nebraska is emotionally and how they handle Saturday's environment?
Question becomes, is it time to play Kenny Loggins? Is it time? I would you know where I'm going. I would normally not say that, but I believe that it is a different time. I've got to say that I believe youngsters more than ever, there's not a mystique that it used to be, right? You're just like them. They compete 7-on-7. It just could be situations where they just weren't seen. They just happened to play in a different style of football. It wasn't a perennial type of program. This is usually not a pipeline. We don't normally come this far north, and there's a lot of that happens. And a lot of these kids end up staying home, staying and building programs, growing, working at their craft, knowing that even though they're at an FCS doesn't mean that they can't make it and beat anybody else out at the next level as an NFL player. So that you've seen enough, you have enough track record now, trend markings and all kinds of things to show you that you don't necessarily have to be at a Power 5 program in order to make it. You just need to perform, dominate your place, your position, and be ready to get busy when it's time to show up at the combine. You're going to lift more, you're stronger than, you're going to jump higher, you're going to run faster, and it doesn't matter who you are and who you played against. Yes, it does matter who you played against because they're going to see how that can translate, but also it's going to show a dominating factor. If you're a dominating guy with footwork, very technical as far as your rush or your blocking, they can see, oh yeah, he can translate. It doesn't matter. You get out,
we saw that with Carter Nelson.
You know what I mean?
For Nebraska.
Yeah, it just depends. So that's why I say this situation could be, it's always Kenny Loggins for me. It's always a danger zone game because if you in any way think they're going to show up, we've seen it with teams like Troy back in the day.
Yeah.
That came in. Boise State obviously was one of them. We see what's going on in Tulane.
Georgia Southern.
Yeah, like these teams are like, man, I don't care. I'm trying to make a name for myself. Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now with Instagram and with all these other platforms, you get to see these guys. You get to see what they're talking about, and you get to look at them. We didn't have it to that same level. You know what I mean? It was very regional, dominated, unless you went to these special camps and you got raised to the mark or raised up. Depends on where you're at, who you're playing. You're in New York. If you're in Chicago, if you're in certain places, your name's going to the top if you're doing your thing there just because, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 to 10 scale, how concerned are you for Nebraska?
Concern is 1
low, 10 high.
3. And the reason I'm going to say that because you heard what Evan Bland said. Evan Bland said, in the approach of this game, and I'm paraphrasing, in the approach of this game, they didn't look at it from a rivalry standpoint. They didn't look at it for it being Colorado or what was being said. It was, in essence, he was alluding to it was being business.
Mm-hmm.
We have business to tend to, and I don't care who it is on the other side. And that's what this is. This is another business, right? If any of you played the game Risk, you would understand what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain territories that you attack a little differently that are larger, bigger territories. The small territories, you can dominate them. You can go in there, a couple of rolls, you're going to win that territory, right? But sometimes that territory fights back and you lose a lot of men.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking from the standpoint of losing of men. I'm talking from the standpoint of sometimes that small territory, if you hold it at the right place, the right location, stack it with enough weapons to be able to handle the business, it's tough to come in and take that territory. It's more work. It's sometimes more headache to do it, but you got to still go do it. And you do it by way of business. You do step by step, methodically, break them down both offensively and defensively and win the game, whether it's by 14 or by 44.
Got a couple responses here on the text line and video stream. Let's go to YouTube first. Wade says, I think it's a 1 because this team is different and will be prepared. Wade, let me know where you keep that Kool-Aid and bring some to Lincoln. Bring some to 1040 O Street specifically. I would love to sip some of that. Brad from Baldwin, 3. He's Team Stricky on this one.
Yeah.
They have experienced players and staff. Johnny Cortland says, any team that rolled in here while Riley and Frost were coaching, I would say 5 or greater. He also says, call South Bend. Northern Illinois had no chance. We'll get back to that here in just a minute. But a couple news and notes that I think are interesting to get to from Nebraska's game notes. Thanks to Keith Mann for sending those out. First time Nebraska and Northern Iowa will have ever played. Kind of interesting. Omar Brown, the connection that you mentioned before, Stricky. Husker defense has held the opposition to 14 or fewer points in 6 consecutive home games. Think about where the defense was at the end of Mike Riley. And Eric Shenander had some decent units in there, but they never took that next step. 14 points or less for 6 straight opponents at home. That goes to that home field advantage we were talking about in the last couple segments. The defense not only is veteran and experienced as playmakers, but playing at home in front of this crowd, that's why, Strick, if Nebraska is going to pitch a shutout this year, I think it's going to be this one. Because Northern Iowa, despite their run game, they're ranked in the FCS, I don't think they can match up with Nebraska. They don't have the same veterans. They don't have the same experience. And if that crowd shows up and those playmakers show up, man, it might be a tough road to even get to 250 yards of total offense for the Panthers.
Tell me this. Because this could be a significant turn of events as far as the way I'm viewing it. When Rule first came in, was it him or was it Frost that took away the black shirts? Who was it?
I believe
that made him earn it.
Rule said, we know the tradition, we understand it, we respect it. We'll give them out when we think the time is right.
There you go. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I believe it changed, because I think black shirts prior to that were given away like candy. You just like show up and you're a black shirt. That's what it felt like. Let me just say that. Maybe that wasn't the case, but that's what it felt like. When he did that, and he says, we'll give them back out when you show me you've earned it. You know what I mean? That there's a significance. And this is what I can appreciate about what he did is he understood the history. Sometimes I think it's good for coaches, right? To in some form, when they come in, to really dig into the history. Because if you know the history, it's easier for you to embed in the culture. If you come in and you're trying to change the culture and not integrate the surrounding culture into it, or to get them to understand or share the vision, and so that there could be an understanding of where you're trying to take it, then I think you have these drop-offs. And I think that's what he did. He came in knowing the history, the culture, the meaning of what it is to be a black shirt. And he said, basically, nah, y'all come in and earn it. And that's where I think things change, as far as especially on the defensive side. Now, you get your defense right, you add the pieces you need for offense. What was the significant part for me on the offensive side?
Number 15?
Similar to no. Well, yes. Where he said the levels here is standard, you need to come up. That's another like test, like not a test, but a challenge to basically say we're good, but good isn't good enough.
Yeah.
We want to raise to the standard. And
23
the standard
is where we're at. It's not where we're going.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, good stuff there. Ryan in Nashville says, all I know is that it better not turn into a McNeese State type of game. Do you remember that one, Stricky, for Nebraska?
Say that again?
Nebraska McNeese State. Do you remember that one?
Man, I don't.
It was a doozy. I remember it.
I don't remember it
very well. September 6th, 2014. Nebraska tied with McNeese State at 24 with under a minute to go in the game in Lincoln. And then probably the second best play of Amir Abdullah's career. The first one has to be stretching for the first down against Northwestern.
I do remember that part.
To
Okay.
give them the first down that leads to the Hail Mary win. I was sitting in East Stadium and I watched what has been called the Amiracle happen. He catches the swing pass out on the right sideline, Nebraska sideline now. Got stopped 2 or 3 different times. Stayed on his feet, spun out of tackles, outraced a couple defenders to the end zone. Nebraska ends up winning at 31-24. And that Nebraska team, Strick, was ranked 19th in the country at the time. Tommy Armstrong, Jordan Westerkamp, Amir Abdullah, all on that roster. Nebraska played down to its competition. Now, McNeese State wasn't terrible. They ended up being pretty solid in the FCS that year, if I recall. But there's no reason they should have hung around that long, especially with some of the playmakers Nebraska had on that team. I don't think Northern Iowa is at that level, but even more recently than that, Strick, I mean, yeah, Nebraska blasted Bethune-Cookman in 2018, Fordham in 2021, but just 2 years ago, North Dakota came to Lincoln. Not North Dakota State, not the Bison that Colorado squeaked by, just plain Jane, regular old North Dakota. It took 14 points in the fourth quarter for Nebraska to win it 38-17. The Fighting Hawks sliced and diced Nebraska that day. The defense was not up to standard. They had the quick passing game going, hit Nebraska on a couple runs as well. Nothing is assured in a game like this, especially talk about the chip on Northern Iowa's shoulder, Stricky. They came with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Everything to prove, like you were saying.
And like I showed on my X tweet, please, Nebraska, do not let them come in here stepping on us like you and I did against Notre Dame. If you saw my tweet, it's
NIU,
absolutely hilarious, right?
Yeah.
And Northern Illinois. And the guy steps in and he comes in with his drink. It says, coming to get my $1.4 million check after I came in your stadium and just took you for a whirl. It's the most hilarious thing. But I don't want them doing that to us. Don't be stepping in,
dancing on
bobbing on us like we took your money and your honey. Like that's no bueno. I won't like that at all. But it is, man. It's one of those things that you literally have to say it's mano y mano. And this is how you learn how to be a champion. Because champions don't play down to the level of competitions. Champions destroy that. It's like your girl who sung the song, I came in like a wrecking ball. Miley Cyrus. You know what I'm saying? You
Better
come
musician, Miley or Billy Ray?
I'm going to have to say Billy Ray, be honest. But real talk, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of that's what you want to do. You look, if their bus is driving down O Street, you want a wrecking ball to literally tear the whole thing apart. That's how you want to destroy teams that you should beat. You want to fight against teams. Like when you play like Ohio State, you're going to have to fight when you go to the shoe. Like that's you going in there, you're going in there with your claws out, you're scrapping, you're scraping, you're trying to get what you need to get done to win that game, even if it's the last second by 1 point. You don't care how you walk out of there.
Right.
You try to walk out with the dub, and it's going to take every bit of energy that you can muster to do it. That's how you got to do it against teams like that.
Well, Northern Illinois beats Notre Dame. Obviously, that's a warning sign for Nebraska. It's a bigger jump down, though, right? FCS, Northern Iowa to Power 5 Nebraska versus MAC, Northern Illinois to Notre Dame. But guess what, Strick? A MAC school got upset by an FCS school. St. Francis comes in and beats Kent State. 45 scholarship players for St. Francis, 85 for Kent State. And Dennis Dodd of CBS wrote a column about this topic. We know the way that college athletics is moving, Strick. It's moving away from games like Nebraska and Northern Iowa, where Northern Iowa needs games like this, at least one a year, to fund not just their football program, but their athletic budget in a lot of ways. Sometimes we'll even play a couple of them just because they need them to stay afloat. Is college football the sport that is most dependent on these David and Goliath battles, not just from a financial standpoint, but how much of the fabric of college football is seeing upsets like Northern Illinois over Notre Dame, App State over Michigan?
How many are seeing it? Is that what you? I know what you're asking, but
like, just how important is it? Like, if we're moving away from it, is that good for college football to be moving away from games like this?
So I talked about this a little while ago when I knew that conferences were beginning to become super. When it started to become super conferences, I knew that these universities would most seriously suffer. Because one, they can't compete in NIL.
No.
Two, their budgets are barely hanging on. And if you're good at that level, you're too risky for me to play because I have a super conference that is got to go through LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Missouri. I got to go through this gauntlet. So why put myself at risk? That's a no lose, right? It's a win for them either way. Like I said, he came in there bobbing for that million. That's what I'm saying though. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to the health of you and your program because you take enough of those and you might end up on the unemployment line. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to go away from it. I think you're going to find that super conferences eventually are going to develop. And what they'll do is they'll find lower tier teams because this is more advantage to them. There's probably not as much money you have to spend, but I'll play a lower level Big 12 ACC team, AAC, because it's not as much of a risk to me than playing an FCS team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to eventually come to that because they're going to just look at the danger. Because it's dangerous. It was dangerous for Colorado. I said that from the beginning. It was dangerous for them to play that team. You know what I mean? One, you're coming off having to bring in a whole bunch of people out of the transfer portal. You're trying to get them to jail in such a short period of time. Some left after spring, so you don't even have the same. You got to do reevaluations coming in the fall. There's a lot to that. Whereas that team, they know who they are. They know their identity. they know what they're working with, and they came in just as come. That's why it's dangerous in basketball to play a team that has been together, stayed together, and they're coming in, and you're trying to still figure it out.
Yeah. Where is David or Goliath more important? Is it in college football or is it in March Madness with college basketball, where you get a St. Peter's or you get a UMBC or you get an Oakland pulling an upset? Like, does that mean more in March Madness and college basketball, or does college football rely on this David versus Goliath narrative more?
I would say that basketball definitely, and you can question it. I think it's a debatable point on both sides of that discussion. But I will definitely say that I believe that basketball probably is more in line with the David Goliath opportunities to happen. I think football is very rare. And the reason I say that it's rare is because normally there's enough guys, skilled guys, stronger, faster guys. There's more opportunity for something to bust open. What costs a team is not being prepared, mistakes. So in this game, it's more mistakes. In another game, in basketball, guys can just come in and just be better equipped at shooting, great at spacing. Their fundamentals is sound. If you miss, you're not getting second chances. Like, they're just so sound that you're gonna literally have to be. And then if they get on one, and then you're in trouble. Like it's tough for a football team to get on one.
Yeah.
A football team needs momentum shifts, and usually it's by way of either creating them themselves, where they probably don't have enough athletes to do that unless they're putting helmets on footballs and they've got great strip game. Pause. That way, right? Basketball is a little bit different. I think you get on one in basketball, you just ran into a bus all that
Sometimes
night.
Everybody you just miss, sometimes they just make.
That part.
And Northern Iowa has done it before. Never forget them shocking Kansas in the NCAA tournament. So dial that up if you're Matt Rule. Hey, don't take these guys lightly. I don't care if it's a different sport. We'll go to break. Speaking of different sports, 5 NBA teams, Stricky, over the next 7 years, control 62 draft picks. In this upcoming NBA draft, 4 teams have 13 of the 30 picks. Who are those teams? We'll talk about them. We'll break it down.
Leverage.
Which team is best positioned to make any move they want?
Yeah.
That's our next segment on the block. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
What a finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 4 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God damn drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website, you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models in all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from, plus qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 17th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
Rick Heyman from Sauter Heyman Jewelers here. Shop the Wedding Band Expo September 12th through the 14th at Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Choose a wedding band that will stand the test of time or an anniversary band to celebrate time spent together. Only at the Wedding Band Expo. You'll save 20% off all wedding and anniversary bands. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Wedding Band Expo, September 12th through the 14th. All 3 locations. Find the ring of your dreams at the price you'll love. SauterHeyman.com in Lincoln and Grand Island.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We know it's football season, college football, NFL in full swing. But I got an NBA guy in the studio with me. My partner, Eric Strickland, 9-year NBA vet. We're going to switch it up a little bit here in the middle of the week before we get back to football the rest of the week. Stricky, when you think about the NBA, you think about the way teams build. Some teams trade away all their first-round picks to get players to try to contend now. Other teams hoard those first-round picks, treasure them like gold. Those are the asset. If I had to give you a guess as to who held over the next 7 NBA drafts the most first-round picks, who would you guess?
Most first-round picks over the next what?
7 NBA drafts.
I'm going to definitely say Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City is tied for second.
I'm going to say Brooklyn.
It is Brooklyn. It is the Nets. Stricky, they own 15 first-round picks over the next 7 years, and 12 of them are tradable.
Yeah. 12 of the 15. Wow. Yeah. They've got serious leverage, bro. That's I don't, if you want to build, you literally get to sit back each draft cycle, each season, each watching who's coming out via Europe and other foreign countries and maybe Africa or whatever, who's coming out. You get to evaluate that. You get to observe your season to see where you stand, what's missing, what's needed, who do you want to build through, and so forth and so on. You get to evaluate all that. I think they did a good job with what they accepted from Phoenix, because it was a flyer on young talent.
Yep.
But then you've come to the realization that they're not ones. They're not number one option types. So you're going to have to find that. And you've got leverage by way of all of those draft picks, 12 of them to which you can give away. You can move up how you want to move up, down, release, retain, whatever you want with that type of leverage. That's a great place to be. Now, the key is you've got to figure out, you've got to show them that you're a stable organization. You're a place that somebody will want to be, build, and stay for the long haul. Are they that yet? I don't know. I don't think so.
Their goal for this season, Strick, I've heard it described one of two ways. Number one, sag for flag, or number two, in the pooper for Cooper. That's objective one. I guess objective two, but objective one for
sag for
Brooklyn.
flag. Like he could be someone that could, reinvigorate because I think he's a special talent. I'm very impressed with his work ethic. I'm impressed with his ability to create space. He doesn't mind being physical. So he has attributes already ahead of the game that says he's built a little bit different. The key is going to be then what happens is freaking
kill that Nat.
I need to get him, man. He's just all in my freaking computer and everything. Cooper Flag is it's going to determine, and here's what I say. Sometimes culture, location, organization, those things can be a hinder because they can be a distraction if you're not solid here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always tell people that it's not necessarily your athletic ability. And I was talking to Cluster about this, and we were talking off air at WTF, and we were talking about which part of the sport is here and which part is physical. And I think when you reach the professional level, there's tons of guys that can jump out of the gym, do some crazy things, create space, get buckets, but they just can't play in system, or they don't understand, defensive, sequences and, different terminologies. They just don't understand. They know how to get buckets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not always about getting a bucket. So that's, sometimes you get those dynamics. I think that's what's, you're looking at with Cooper Flag. If he gets into an organization, I think organization is going to matter for him. I personally, there's three, and I'm going to ask you, 402-464-5685. If you're Cooper Flag's agent, marketing guy, leadership guy, yes, a lot of people would say they want him in New York or they want him in, yes, because those are high market areas.
Well, I think him being from the Northeast plays into that as well.
That's the thing. I think being there, I wouldn't want him to be in New York.
Boston?
Maybe Boston because of the proximity.
Philly?
I think that.
Probably not.
I'm not feeling.
Is it different?
I don't think anything on
with
the
the Knicks or the Nets?
I would probably like him more with the Knicks than the Nets. Just, if it's going to be that, because he would have to carry that whole burden.
Yeah.
Similar to what J Kidd and had to
Vince
do in
for a
early
while
on until
yeah.
Vince. Yeah. Cooper Flag. What three places would you see Cooper Flag thrive? I'll give you mine. I'll let you
I need
determine if that's Utah, Orlando, and Phoenix off top. Because I'm just saying, not with who they got there, I'm just saying where I think
location,
would be a great
area,
place for
base.
him to integrate himself, and because you're still young men, you haven't really been around you don't understand what it's like to be dropped into a culture that's totally different from yours. How you've got to move, navigate the people you're going to meet, who's going to be trying to latch onto you like a leech, and you don't sometimes deal with a lot of that. But in some of these places, that's going to be like, surefire thing to happen to you.
Someone on the text line said Miami.
No, not early in his career. That can be a super distraction. A guy like him, I would want him early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he can't get to Miami. I think he can get anywhere he wants to. He can play anywhere he wants to. I'm just saying how I would navigate this transition of him into the culture, into the sport, into the exposure. Because let's be honest, I love marketing, but I don't believe marketing becomes himself without being in Utah.
For sure. For sure.
I don't think he thrives at the level he does. I think if he's in LA or somewhere like
Chicago didn't work.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. I don't know. I think there's just certain places that initially for a transition for a guy like himself, I think it would be a good place for him to be.
I love all those options that you threw out there. A couple others that come to mind.
I would even say Dallas.
Of course you would.
More so than Houston.
Of course you would.
I would actually say San Antonio too. I'd be okay with him in San Antonio. I think actually San Antonio would probably be the top on my list.
San Antonio, I mean, with him next to Wemby, I mean, Cooper Flag doesn't need the ball. He's not as good offensively as Wemby is. Not the alien, right? He could set Wemby up. I think he'd be okay with that. Minnesota.
I can see it. I could see it. A little bit further down, but I could see it.
You'd have to, get along with Ant.
Shaky on. I mean,
Memphis?
you would say Indy. No, sir, definitely not. You would say probably Indiana.
Yeah,
would be a place. You could probably even say Milwaukee. I would say more Indiana than Milwaukee. I just like their style of play because they're going to guess how they're going to play. They're going to play fast
and free.
Freaking, I want to kill him so bad.
I like the idea of him with Cade Cunningham in Detroit, but they're not going anywhere, so I don't want that to happen for his sake. Charlotte, nah.
No.
Hawks,
no.
Probably nah.
Orlando, I see.
Yeah.
Miami, no. New Orleans, no.
Wizards?
Definitely no. I wouldn't want him in DC. West.
Warriors.
I think the style would be fine for him there. Bay
Kings.
Area right now. Sacramento. Okay.
I think Mike Brown would be a really good coach.
I can roll with Sacramento.
Other teams that control a lot of first-round picks, Strick, you brought up San Antonio, right? They have 12 with 9 tradable.
Lord,
the
mercy.
Jazz have
to bring
13,
to Wemby?
To bring to Wemby.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. The Jazz have 13 with 9 tradable. Houston has 8 with 5 of them being tradable. With Oklahoma City, though, Strick, before we go to break, Jay's out there for a crossover. With them having 13 picks and 10 of them being tradable in the first round, is Oklahoma City a team that needs to consolidate some of those picks and go get a second big name superstar? Or is Oklahoma City doing the Patriots model, where I know the Patriots would hit on their 3rd, 4th, 5th rounders, find these under the radar guys. But if Oklahoma City's not going to pay big money contracts outside of, Shea, maybe Chet down the line, maybe Jalen Williams, is Oklahoma City a team that would be best served by holding on to these first round picks and using that as their replenish strategy?
There's got to be a balance, right? Actually, I think if I just take a step back and I look at what they're doing, it's identify talent that someone maybe doesn't believe in or is not fully sure of, but I think our development plans would work for him. We get him in. So we get him at a discount. We use maybe draft, and we're able to evaluate our guys, right? We're able to evaluate our guys in depth. Now we can determine a cycle. Okay, we're 2 years out. We have 2027 and 2029. And now we're looking at that cycle. Are we going to look to the draft? Who's in that realm that can come out? Where would he fit? Is it somebody that we're sure about on our team or not sure about? So then we can trade him, give away something, and bring something in to fill in for right now. Or we can wait, draft it, grow it, put him in the cycle. This guy's on the way out. This guy's just coming in. He's got a couple years to grow, develop. And so it can be a combination. And I think that's where they're going to be strongest if they do it that way and not necessarily rely on an all-in system, in which some people tend to do.
And in these upcoming drafts, Strick, there's going to be a good mix of talent at the top. You have your polished prospects like Cooper Flagg, your Dylan Harper for Rutgers in this year's draft. The Boozer twins aren't athletic marvels, but they have that good feel for the game from their dad.
Are they the Thompson twins?
They're completely different than the Thompson.
Okay, see, are you saying that because you're a Dookie?
I'm saying that because the Thompson twins are a lot of athleticism, whereas I think the Boozers are more feel.
Okay.
They're different styles of players.
Okay.
Impactful in different ways.
I just wanted to hear your perspective.
Oh, trust me. You'll hear my perspective more and more as we go. But then you have your
Duke is gonna
Ace
be
Baileys,
dangerous.
you have your VJ Edgecombs, you have your AJ DeBansas. Watch out for DeBansa. Oh my gosh. In a couple of years, he's going to be good. So if these teams can package their picks, there's going to be a prospect for any of them that they like that will fit a role on their team.
We've got
Duke will be dangerous.
We've
You're
got
right.
a DB in here. He's a DB. And I'm not talking about a defensive back. I'm talking about a Duke bias. That's who we got going on in here. He's a Duke bias. He's not a DB. He's not gonna you can't put him out on an island and you think he's gonna get something done. He will give up the hitch and go. That's
True.
awesome.
I'll get
He's
run
biased.
over. I'll make business
He's
decisions.
biased. You're Duke biased.
Duke, Mr. Falcon.
Okay.
Where I'm at.
That's where we at.
Yeah. Don't
Mhm.
worry. Don't worry. You'll get more Duke opinions. If
believe
you
it.
thought you got tired of hearing about Bobby Witt Jr., just wait till Cooper Flagg season.
I believe it.
I'm
I'm
locked
looking
and
forward to
loaded.
it, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
actually
yeah.
looking forward to it. I want to see it.
Stick with us on the block. We'll cross it over and wrap it up next.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 15th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA Choice Boneless New York strip steaks for $7.99 each. USDA Choice Boneless Beef Crock Pot Roast for $4.99 per pound. Fresh salmon fillets for $9.99 per pound. And Bush Light 30 packs for just $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rick Heyman from Sauter Heyman Jewelers here. Shop the Wedding Band Expo September 12th through the 14th at Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Choose a wedding band that will stand the test of time or an anniversary band to celebrate time spent together. Only at the Wedding Band Expo. You'll save 20% off all wedding and anniversary bands. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Wedding Band Expo, September 12th through the 14th. All 3 locations. Find the ring of your dreams at the price you'll love. SauterHeyman.com in Lincoln and Grand Island.
America, the time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to MWRbuildingandfence.com.
Attention Nebraska, it's time to show off the best our state has to offer. Help Beatrice Bakery's famous fruitcake snag the title of coolest thing in Nebraska. Made with love and loaded with local flavor, this fruitcake isn't just a treat, it's a tradition. Cast your vote today and let's put Beatrice Bakery on the map. Vote now and make the fruitcake of Beatrice Bakery the coolest thing in Nebraska. Visit theticketfm.com and click the link to vote. That's theticketfm.com. Go and vote now.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy and hot with an afternoon high around 91. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return to be breezy again with a high around 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the final segment of the show, which means we are crossing it over with old school. I'm Austin. He's Strick. In the middle, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome in.
What up?
A lot going on. Lots of football. To even talk some NBA. 41 days away from the start of the season. So that was good to get into in our last segment. Strick and I were talking about the environment for Nebraska against Colorado. And then it might feel a little deflating, you know, coming from Colorado to Northern Iowa. Strick talked about all the big games that he played in, right? Building up to, you know, those big environments. For you guys on the football team, playing against some top-ranked opponents, then the next week maybe playing a Kansas and Iowa State. How were you able to keep the energy the same and keep the standard and process of work the same?
The standard, it takes what it takes. I mean, if you really want to be good, you can't. You got to play against yourself. And granted, the energy in the stadium, obviously, when you're playing on national TV, night game, you can't replicate that. But the good thing about it is a night game, so the crowd's going to be there. The biggest thing that makes the crowd imposing is good play. Coming out of the tunnel, the energy is going to be there. The first couple series, I guess it's going to be there. Keeping it going is what you do. So you can bring the crowd to almost to that same level based on your play. So then your play is going to be dictated at what you did during the week. You shouldn't be out there. This sport is not conditional. You cannot play dress up and play play football. You either are a football player or you're not. There were some guys in college that thought they were smooth. They never would make it. You were a good player. You could be a little piece, but you're never going anywhere past that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the honest to God truth. Because you did too much talking. You might want to run the streets. You like talking to more people outside of the football program, or whatever, chase girls. Okay, that's you. You got a good mouthpiece. You're just not dedicated, but you could be on the team. The team is led by guys that are football players. And football players aren't simps. Football players are that's just who you are. You're not a football player only during the season. That's just who you are, man. So how does that, come into Saturday night or against Northern Iowa is because this is I call it the Mr. T starter kit. This is where it starts to get fun. You have to want the pressure. You have to want to play. It's like when you used to play those like video games and you get through like level 4 and then you go up to another level, you might get more guns or whatever it is, or more stuff like Super Mario Brothers. You get, you could, get more mushrooms and all that.
I call that the build to the big.
Yeah.
It's the build to the big.
Right. And you want to build towards it.
Right.
And sometimes.
So when you arrive at it.
So when you're ready, you're battle tested.
Yeah.
The season is just getting started. This is just kind of getting into like first gear. And so the work is still a lot of work. It's still a lot of, pressures. There's a lot of stuff that you got to clean up from last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to continue along getting better at the stuff that you did good or, okay or great at times as well. Continue to, double down on that. So it's a different type of pressure. This pressure is, can you back up a good performance or a big win on a national stage by doing it again?
Let's pause 10 quick seconds for station identification here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
And part of that pressure comes with, the expectations now. And Rodney on the text line asks a question that, I think we've been alluding to, but he comes right out and asks it. He says, I'm glad that the Huskers are 2-0, but do you think the excitement needs to be tempered by the fact that the team has beaten two teams that really aren't at a high level at this point in the season? Or do you believe that they have something special going on right now? I'll ask that to both of you. Is Nebraska beating overmatched teams, or is there enough good process, good standard that leads you to believe there's something legit, real, and tangible from Husker football right now?
I'll go first and let the football juggernaut break it down after me. Like, for me, I think this, who they've played, I feel are good testers. They help you to build in areas that you want to showcase later on or highlight or be special at later. So they force you with certain styles. They gave you an adjustment with Colorado as far as a lot of expectation. So this is teaching your coaching staff too, as well as your players. You're coming into this game expecting a lot of man, and you didn't get a lot of man. You got a good lot of zone too, right? So there was some, adjustments that need to be made. I think it forced them in each of these games to make some form of adjustment and to learn some sort of a lesson. There are going to be some strong running teams coming up soon. This is what Northern Iowa does. It's going to be a test. So it's going to teach your gap integrities. It's going to teach you your reads and where your eyes are supposed to be. You're going to get good film, I think, off some of these building block games that hopefully will prepare you for when you're ready to show and prove later on.
Yeah, the two tests that Nebraska has struggled with in the past. And that's honest to God truth. Maybe not recent with like Coach Rulner, but it's just over the last 10 years. They would have very easily could have lost to UTEP with the last two regimes, right? And everybody's like, oh, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
And then just last year, I said it before they played Colorado. I think Nebraska beat themselves versus Colorado beating them. Now, Colorado's immensely talented at some very crucial positions. The quarterback position, the skill position, and then they got a big time aura around them. So that can lead to some points, especially when you're on the road like they were last year. So you look, man, you only can play who you can play. I'm more interested in how they play. I think they're improved from last year. I think they're a better looking team. I think they're faster, a physical team. They look a little different. Now, are they up to Georgia's level? No, but you got to work to that level. So, my expectations haven't, I'm not going to say, oh, well, they're 2-0. They haven't played, Ohio State. So, I'm not going to give them any credit. I'm going to give them as much credit as they've earned, which is a lot, just based on how they performed. And then also I'm going to take away some credit because I think that, we can't play like that on special teams. There's other things that we need to get. We should have been a little bit better on third down.
Yep.
And the penalties and all that. Now, granted, it's based on the crew, which is a high penalty crew. Coming into the game, they're going to throw a lot of flags, and they don't know what the type of football that they're watching or watch. They don't normally ref, so it's totally different. So, I say it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Right, and they play Northern Iowa. Listen, one thing about Northern Iowa, they're going to come in and compete. The coach has been there for a very long
24
time.
years.
They have a standard. He knows the ins and outs of the kind of, playing in these games. And don't think that they're just going to come in and lay down. They are inspired by Northern Illinois last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are. So as much as I as a coach, I would be showing the Notre Dame sideline, Marcus Freeman, maybe some press clippings. He's showing Northern Iowa, Northern Illinois press clippings, their sidelines, how they won the game. So now, you know what? Then so they're both doing that. Well, then let's get it on.
Psychological warfare.
But let's get it on then. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this ain't Notre Dame. This is it. We're gonna open up a fresh present for you. Let's see what's up.
One of the other things Strick and I were talking about, we'll get to here for just a couple minutes before we give it to you for old school. Also tweeted out at On the Block 93.7, which sport needs or utilizes the David versus Goliath opportunities more? Is it college football with your Northern Illinois Notre Dames or your Appalachian State Michigans? Or is it college basketball where you get UMBC over Virginia, you get Oakland and St. Peter's over Kentucky? Which sport needs David versus Goliath more?
That's a great question. I would probably say football does, because it does bring some excitement though. And it always kind of gives a little bit more credibility to the parody that they've tried to recreate at all levels. But man, that NCAA tournament when Mercer beats Duke, right? That was great.
Lehigh beats Duke.
Or everybody beats
VCU
Duke.
beats Duke.
Hey.
99 UConn beats Duke.
Hey, everybody gets their
2018 Michigan State beats Duke.
Yeah, but that's not David and Goliath. We're talking about when the teams that come out of nowhere when you guys are number 2 season get broke off. That's also special. But a hot game can do it. I think when you look at that Notre Dame game.
No, pause. I need a question.
What do you mean, pause? What, man?
The question is this. When I'm listening to what you're saying, in football, when this David Goliath situation,
it's truly David and Goliath.
But here's the thing: how does it happen?
How does it happen
in football? Because it just normally is not a just show up. That's what I want to know
how it happens.
How does it happen in football?
Okay, number one,
it's different in basketball than it does in football.
Here's how it can happen in football. You have a team that generally is overlooking them, both as a coaching staff.
That's one I said.
Which leads into your preparation, leads into your leadership and your players. And they just are kind of floating. And maybe they kind of either went through the motions and beat the brakes off somebody in the first week, or they got snowballed like Notre Dame did when they went down and beat a Texas A&M team that's not really that good. And you guys were in a rock fight. So the game looked a lot more competitive than actually what it was. Then your opponent is a style and an identity that's already ingrained in them. Their coach played at Northern Illinois.
Take that.
They have a bunch of kids that's been overlooked. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
did you see their boneyard that they tweeted? Oh, yeah. That is tough.
And check this out. The coach struggled a little bit at times last year. His back's against the wall. So he probably did their best job in the spring evaluating, self-scouting, developing, and with these type of schools, Strick, and it's just like this, and this is where it is comparable to basketball. You won't get Oakland's consistently, but you'll get Oakland for 2 years. You'll get VCU for 2 years, then Shockley. And VCU is more steady.
Florida Gulf Coast.
Right, you'll get it for 2 years. Why? Because Austin J and Strick came in, we are some scrubs, or one of us gets hurt. Well, then we start to get some continuity go there. None of us leaves. And now, you're a 3-point shooter, say like I'm the power forward, you're the off guard, and you guys we're rocking and rolling. You get 3 dudes that they might, you might have one NBA dude, and then you got 2 guys that maybe play overseas or be G League guys. You in some trouble.
Yeah.
Because say Duke runs in or North Carolina, and they just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go out here and beat these dudes.
They're scared of you.
Right. So that's how it happens. But it starts with preparation. It starts with the attention to detail. And it also starts with what type of team that you're playing. When North Dakota State was going and beating teams early in the season, they had an identity. They had some really good players. They had an excellent coach in Coach Bowl, and they knew exactly who they were, and they were able to shorten the game, and then they were extremely physical. When you watched Northern Illinois against Notre Dame, they were attacking them dudes. And they
Not
just
scared of the slightest.
Right, and they just kept coming.
Mm-hmm.
Where Notre Dame was expecting them to lay down.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this point, it is so much parity because you got guys that maybe are overlooked. And here's a little caveat here. This is what a coach would tell a team like this. We don't have much NIL. So just say for Northern Illinois, they might just say they have. I know they probably got more. Just say they only have $200,000 for the whole team, right? But you that dude there, you ball out against Notre Dame. Guess whose phone's going to be ringing in January?
Yours for a transfer portal.
And to get paid.
Right.
So that's how I'm coaching.
Yeah.
You want to get noticed? You say you're getting overlooked. We don't got it. What you need? I'm not here to stop you. Go prove it.
That part.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
And it's no different. That's how I got my scholarship to Nebraska. I thought they were there to watch me. My coach was like, nah, they there to watch them. Oh, okay. Well, just hold on real quick. Okay, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying, Strick? I'll be right back. Yeah. Nick Saban, Coach Osborne at the crib.
That part.
Yeah. Had my dad wrapped around his finger. Both of them did.
Done.
Yeah, both of them did. My dad was like, man, Nick Saban ain't gonna be in college long. He ain't gonna be there that long. So you better go down to Nebraska, man, because Coach Osborne ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's what's up.
We had to win it,
College
man.
football, NFL on Old School?
Oh yeah, college football. There's a ton of stuff going on. NFL stuff. We're gonna talk about Joe Burrow. What we got going on back here?
My little man.
Oh
Little
man,
guy,
there
boy.
he is.
There he is.
There he is. Look
There
at
he
it. He
is.
like Uncle Jay. There he is. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break and go see the cutest man in the Ormond house, Jay Foreman. We'll be right back.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rick Heyman from Sauter Heyman Jewelers here. Shop the Wedding Band Expo September 12th through the 14th at Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Choose a wedding band that will stand the test of time or an anniversary band to celebrate time spent together. Only at the Wedding Band Expo. You'll save 20% off all wedding and anniversary bands. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Wedding Band Expo, September 12th through the 14th. All 3 locations. Find the ring of your dreams at the price you'll love. SauterHeyman.com in Lincoln and Grand Island.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie.